GOAT Squad TV, Kyle Kuzma, man. All right, so I want people to understand something. I've been paying attention to Kyle Kuzma since he was drafted by Brooklyn, but he got a draft day trade, ended up getting LA. And he was in the same draft as Jason Tatum. He was in that draft. He was drafted later in the draft. He fell down, I think, the 27th. My lucky number. Um, his game, his first 2 years in the league, and probably more specific, his first year, he averaged 16.1 points a game. He averaged 18 the next year. Obviously, that's the year LeBron was hurt a lot of that year. The first year he was in the league, LeBron was his teammate. He averaged 16 points a game his first season. He played 77 games, started 37. 45% shooting, 36% from three, 70% from free throw line, 6.3 rebounds. The next year he's played 70 games, 68 started, 45% field goal percentage, 30 from three, 75% on the free throw line, 5.5 rebounds, and eight, like I said, 18.7 points a game. After that, you can see the high influence in LeBron and Anthony because, obviously 1920 was the season Anthony Davis got there. So when Davis got there, you can see Kuzma's role change. He started 61 games. Now, he played 61 games, started 9. Mind you, they won the title. That was the bubble year. Averaged 12.8 points a game. And then last year, this past year, he played 68 games, started 32, only averaged 12.9. Now, this is the same guy at a certain point that Ticket TV was claiming was better than Jason Tatum. The same guy that some people were saying was better than Jason Tatum in that draft. Now, we all know that didn't come to fruition. But I still think the kid's got talent. Here's where I think the problem is. The Lakers need to trade Kyle Kuzma. Not because he's not a good Laker. It's because LeBron and Anthony Davis don't play well with Kyle Kuzma on the squad. Kyle Kuzma was great those first 2 years in the league because he was able to create his own offense. He wasn't just being told to be a three-point shooter. He needed the ball in order to be effective. Much how you see Brandon Ingram in a lot of ways needed the ball to be effective as well. But they didn't have the cachet that a LeBron James has. LeBron's obviously, the best player of this generation. So they don't have the cachet that a LeBron has, especially with that, even though they were drafted, by this franchise. They don't have the cachet like that. So, in a lot of ways, what are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? They're not going to get the benefit of the doubt in the situation from management in that situation. Obviously, Ingram ended up getting dealt in the Anthony Davis deal. And Kuzma, who was kept out of the Anthony Davis deal, obviously didn't benefit because once Davis got there, a lot of his shots and his possessions and a lot of his game had to change. Kyle Kuzma's been essentially told to play like Kevin Love. Just be a three-point shooter. Just be ready for when LeBron passes the ball. Be ready on the perimeter. And I think that's killed Kyle Kuzma's confidence. He's also dealt with injuries the last couple years as well, ankle injuries. Also, his focus has been kind of off. I think Kobe Bryant passing away played a huge part and Kyle Kuzma's confidence not being quite where it used to be. If you remember, Kobe Bryant was really big on Kyle. He was huge on Kyle Kuzma. He loved Kyle Kuzma. And Kobe used to train with him in in the off season. And Kyle used to be like one of them dudes that he wanted to talk to Kobe all the time. He was always wanted to talk to Kobe, and he wanted to be. Remember his first year, he told him, I'm here to win. I remember he had a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he was a guy that was drafted late in the first round. He wanted to prove to people that he wanted to make people bite their words. And now you see him, he's just a shell of his former self. I really think he wants to get, he'll sit there and say, remember he signed that deal with them, and he said, some people aren't meant to wear the Laker uniform. He's correct. I don't think he is. I think when Kobe was around, I thought he was. But when Kobe went, God rest his soul, when Kobe passed away, on top of the fact that Anthony Davis is going to take a lot of his possessions, you see Kyle Kuzma's game really suffering. Look at his playoff numbers. Last year, he didn't start a game in the playoffs, played 23 minutes a game, 43% shooting, 31% from three, 78% from the free throw line, 10 points per game in the playoffs. This season, 6 games played in the playoffs, 17% from three, 29% from the 2-point range, 66% from the free throw line. That's a dip. 6.3 points a game in the playoffs. This is the guy they once said was better than Jason Tatum. Kyle Kuzma needs to be dealt, and it's not because Kyle Kuzma's whack. You Lakers fans out there think Kyle Kuzma's whack. You guys got to remember what Kyle Kuzma was before LeBron got there and before AD got there. Once, when it was just LeBron and AD, when it was just LeBron and Kuzma averaged 18.7 points a game because they didn't have anyone else to put up points. A lot of games LeBron missed with that groin injury, so Kuzma was the only one who was going to put up those points, and he did it the whole season, that for the most part, in 2018-19. Before that, he was 16.1, but he showed a lot of flashes of being a superstar that year, despite only starting 37 games as a Lou Walton. But his averages have gone dramatically down. And his efficiency is horrible right now. It's like he needs a new place of scenery. I've been saying Detroit needs to be on the phone with the Lakers, and they need to be like, Detroit needs a star bad. They don't have anybody over there. They don't have anyone over there. He's from Detroit. He's from Michigan. They need to find a way to get him over there. They get him there. Or Cleveland somehow gets him. Like, I could definitely see it in a scenario where the Lakers trade Kyle Kuzma for Kevin Love. Now, when I say Kevin Love's not obviously Kevin Love of the past. However, he only has 2 years left on that deal. 1 year guaranteed money, which makes that contract a little more feasible for a team like the Lakers to just grab. The Lakers don't have a lot of cap room. And their roster is probably going to be significantly different next year. So if I'm the Lakers, it's either now or never. You probably get one more title. Maybe if you're lucky, you probably get one more title out of LeBron. And then you start thinking about the possible rebuild. And obviously you're not going to rebuild the team around Kuzma. You pretty much just said, despite that contract, you already pretty much know Kuzma doesn't want to probably be there. Davis is going to be there for the long haul, but do you think Anthony Davis is going to last all 5 years? I don't think so. I could see Anthony Davis retiring early. His body's not meant to, no one's body's meant to be able to play like a guard at 7 feet tall and be able with that weight on him. And he already has a history of knee problems and leg problems and groin problems and back problems and shoulder problems. he's not gonna last that much longer, man. Like, for that money they're paying him, that's cool that they're paying him that money because they're paying it based on Anthony Davis's talent. I don't see Anthony Davis surviving another maybe. I don't see him surviving another 3, 4 years. I think he has maybe 2, 3 years left in prime Anthony Davis, and then that's if he can stay somewhat healthy. And I think it's done. So I think if the Lakers and Kyle Kuzma would be very beneficial in divorcing. I think it would be best off for both parties. They go and trade Kuzma to Cleveland for Kevin Love and maybe one of their young players over there. And Kuzma could go ahead and be a starter and end up being the guy that he was supposed to be the first 2 years and develop and become a better player, or go to Detroit and end up being a guy there. But the Lakers need to do something. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers trade Kuzma for Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's got 3 years left on his deal. They both have similar deals. So I wouldn't even be surprised if that happened. It would actually benefit the Lakers to trade for Jeremy Grant. And it would benefit the Pistons to get Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is a guy you could build around if you're Detroit. You can't build around him in LA because, like, confidence is shot. You can tell Kyle Kuzma doesn't have the chip on his shoulder. His focus ain't there. He's around Hollywood. All that dude care about right now is being around Hollywood. Around hoes and shit because he doesn't care. He's like, I'm tired of playing with this dude. Tired of playing with these dudes, man. These cats already, they got too much cachet in the organization where I don't have that type of cachet. So he's already won a title over there, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't feel too good about winning it. Won it, but did he really contribute? So it's like, I think he wants to go somewhere where he could be the man. I know a lot of you Laker fans and some of you NBA fans don't really believe in him, and that's fine. But when he played best, he had a chip on his shoulder. You can't deny that those first 2 seasons, especially the first season, he showed a lot of promise. I don't think he's over for him yet. I just think he needs to get out of Los Angeles. Anyway, Gold Squad TV, leave your comments down below. What do you think needs to happen for Kyle Kuzma? Do you think he needs to be traded and he needs to go somewhere else where he could be the guy? Gold Squad TV.